We are beginning to see what the MCU was headed to be if only those raucous, ungrateful audience members had kept going to the movies despite their lower quality. What are we talking about? Well, what if we told you that in the What If Disney Plus Marvel series, it's perhaps gone beyond even what woke ever imagined? Yes, today we'll tell you how Howard the Duck got it on and had a woman lay an egg which hatched a girl boss baby. Folks, it may be time for you to spend your time right here on the Pro Channel, and we are so overjoyed that you're doing so today. Yes, we are indeed covering something that I never thought would actually be put into the English language. A girl boss baby hatched from an egg after Howard the Duck got it on with someone not named Leah Thompson. In this case, it's a Miss Darby, perhaps. Folks, we'll explain it, but we can't explain what's going on with Marvel other than to say they're trying to save the MCU, but these are the people making the stuff for Disney Plus and for the comics who are making sure that they destroy every foundational part of Marvel, and until they're gone, you're going to get more of this. We'll explain. Click the like button. Here we go. Folks, here's what we've got next for you. We're finding out what Marvel was going to be if only that darn audience had not disagreed. Here's what we have, and as we read it, consider this was the future of the MCU coming to you until you all turned against it. From that Park Place, Marvin Montanaro, the author here, X-Men 97 writer, and others blast Marvel What If Season 3. Marvel is facing a slew of criticism over the quality of What If Season 3, its animated multiversal series on Disney Plus. However, those critiques are coming from more than just the usual suspects. Former Marvel writers and critics who have been incredibly supportive of Marvel in the past have come out to publicly blast this latest Disney Plus offering. As Marvel Studios wraps up the animated anthology series, it's getting some disagreements. Among the notable voices expressing disappointment are Beau DeMaio of BonlyFans fame, the former showrunner of X-Men 97, and Grace Randolph, a well-known film critic and host of Beyond the Trailer, who has a history of being very generous to Marvel and Disney. Okay, well, what is it that they're not happy about? Well, let's go down here and let's take a look. Yeah. Caption of this.
I still can't believe this happened.
Pictures are worth 1,000 words.
Darcy and Howard the Duck, and it says after the birth of their child, but I have to disagree with this, Marvin. I hate to disagree with you publicly. If Darcy lays an egg, and I can't even imagine how that went.
Oh.
If Darcy lays an egg, that's not birth yet because it hasn't hatched.
True,
this is the kind of stuff. Please.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying I was thinking of it as birthing in the traditional sense, and I wasn't thinking about the avian nature of the child. You're right.
She laid an egg. She flat out laid an egg.
But if it's an egg with a human child in it, does it still count?
Well, it's a half human, half duck child.
How does a woman, chicken, duck thing? Yeah.
Yeah. So a woman had a baby with a duck, and it hatched as an insufferable girl boss.
I'm sorry, this is so terrible.
Right, biologically, still just trying to figure that out. The difference between a womb and an egg, hard shell egg. That doesn't make any sense.
There's a crass chicken in the egg joke here that I will not say because Jonas is on the panel.
Well, the good news is apparently this series is going to be over easy because nobody's watching it.
Ha 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 ha! That's so deserved a but-umch.
Beau DeMaio is angry because they're swapping race, and they're doing so with the villains. He doesn't like that. Grace Randolph, meanwhile, says that she's not happy about the girl power narratives. And here's what she said.
Should we have Grace read it in her voice?
Please, go for it.
Marvel has so many great characters. Why create a bad Harley Quinn ripoff? Oh, and her origin story? Yikes.
So the bad origin story is Birdie, and she is the offspring of a woman and a duck. And so Darcy gave birth or laid an egg, and this thing came out of it. And
maybe she laid birth.
laid birth, Bear. Yes, so she laid birth to this girl boss named Birdie. And here's the bottom line. This is what they had envisioned they could do with the MCU. This is the kind of weirdo, ultra woke. I don't even know if it's woke. It's just weird. It's just gross stuff. This is what I think they were planning for the MCU, and they've had to go back. This is Eternals level bad. This is She-Hulk level bad. And the problem for Marvel is they may now want to pivot. And we've talked about this, and large parts of Disney seem, if not wanting, to have been forced to make a pivot. But the problem is the pipeline doesn't allow it, because for the past 4 years, they've been planning and pumping out this nonsense. And I don't see any way that they can easily switch over, because they have all this content that still has to be released. It's going to take 2 to 3 years of us seeing women hatch eggs or lay eggs and girl bosses pop out and race swapping villains and all of this. We've got years of this still coming, even if they have changed their mind today. Panel, what say you?
Well, I mean, as quickly as they scratched Willow off of Disney Plus, they could totally scrap these ideas and restart if they really wanted to. I don't think that's necessarily like, unless they're somehow contractually obligated to do it. I don't think that it would be a problem if they really wanted to make a turnaround.
You know what the craziest thing about this season is, guys? Because I watched the whole thing the other day.
You did.
Because I knew I was going to have to write about it. And the Lady Duck romance is not even the worst thing in this entire season. The worst thing is the Agatha. What if Agatha went to Hollywood and met up with the Bollywood guy from the Eternals? Lot of This entire season was them doubling down on characters that audiences soundly rejected within the last 3 years.
That's wonderful.
It's Agatha, it's the Eternals, it's Kate Bishop Hawkeye, it's Captain Carter. It's so much. The only thing that would have made it worse is if Captain Marvel showed up, and thankfully she never did. Riri Williams has an entire episode where she takes apart the White Vision and wears his skin.
That's terrible.
So it sounds like it's the MCU how it would go if everything that they made over the last 4 years was successful.
It's if Victoria Alonso took over the MCU fully, this is what it would have been.
And I'll say this too. So I would love to show people how bad this is, but we're limited to showing a trailer. We're not allowed to show anything other than the trailer. But I would love to show people the Bollywood number, because this is what we've actually had audience members tell us. How dare you, Pro, put this on my X account? I had to watch it and it was awful. I mean, it is embarrassingly bad, but this is the Dustborn. This is the Concord that they all believed we wanted to see. Yes, those two bedded each other and made an egg.
Okay, now I would like to play devil's advocate here with that premise, is that I think it's like an outdated premise that or idea that no longer fits and is suitable for today's audiences. Because I mean, in the 80s, stuff like this happened. Like, it was quirky and it was weird. It was unique. It was bizarre, but it was original. I don't know. Because I mean, you know, Howard the Duck, there was a woman that was in love with him.
Leah Thompson.
Leah Thompson, yeah.
And so, I mean, like,
she was his density.
So I'm not saying that I like it. I stopped watching Howard the Duck. I got a little bit into it. I'm like, this is not for me. I don't like this. Who recommended this to me? Yuck. But so it's not like it's not there. I just don't know if it, you know, I think because you got your Roger Rabbit and his wife and stuff like that, and everybody always talks about how fabulous she is and, you know, stuff like that. So I think it's like, it depends like how you want to do the story, because stuff like this has happened before and was successful. So I wonder if it's just now because we're in this era of everything that Disney does is weird and yicky, agenda driven. It just like, it's all over the place. Nothing seems to coincide with itself. Yeah. I think that might be the reason why it's bothersome. But like I said, like years ago, stuff like this happened, and I don't know. I don't hear people complaining necessarily about Roger Rabbit.
So let me
I really like that point. There's something that I want to point out here. I wonder, you know, there was an episode of the Fantastic Four cartoon series that is no longer on the DVDs. It was from like 1994, in which the Skrulls, who are, let's say, an insurgent faction, I'm trying to dance around YouTube terms here. They like to make people scared a lot. They're fearerists, and they crash one of their starships into one of two large buildings. That is literally the plot of this episode from 1994. It wasn't a problem at the time, but now it's like, oh wow, that's a thing that exists. So reality got a little too close, so they ended up pulling this thing away. I wonder if the world has just become so depraved that this isn't a joke. This is something that we wonder, like the Harley Quinn, passing gas comic that is out there, that this is close enough to something that we think might be a thing that they wish would happen, that it's creepy. Like,
yeah, that's an amazing point, Jonas. I mean, this Roger Rabbit was made in the era before there were a ton of people having conventions that are saying things like, yeah, that rabbit, I'm attracted to him. Yeah, and then sitting next to Valiant Renegade.
Right, it was a joke. And so the other thing about this too is, if you watched Roger Rabbit and suddenly Jessica gave birth to a half human, half rabbit mutant thing, you would say, okay, what the crap? Like, this was weird, but you took it to a new level of weird. And then, of course, Girl Boss Rabbit is next up. They won't even allow, by the way, the depiction of Jessica Rabbit because it's too scandalous. Instead, they're busy hatching girl bosses out of eggs. It's a very weird thing.
You know what I just realized?
Me as well, because her name is what? Ducky? So
Birdie.
Sorry. So
Birdie the duck.
Ducky is from Land Before Time. How dare you, sir? Don't disparage Ducky. Yep.
If this person had been born a boy, would it be Manny? Then that name just seems a little too on the nose for me.
It would be Drake.
I'm just realizing that 1985 and 1986 was a rough 2-year period for Leah Thompson. She made out with her son and then had relations with a duck on camera.
That's a rough streak right there.
Oh, George Lucas even removed his name from that. Well, or distanced himself from it.
I wonder which one is worse for him, that or Howard the Duck or the Holiday Special. I don't know which one bothers him more.
I think that's going to be the Holiday Special.
Yeah, he's never expressed a desire to hunt down every copy of Howard the Duck and destroy it with a baseball bat.
Probably so. And put another one in the can, folks. A video of excellence has been birthed into existence, and you were there to witness it. Thank you for participating. We hope you had a good time. Folks, it's a great time anytime we get to share time with you, and we mean it. The only thing additional we ask, on the way out the door, consider clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it and stick it to those pesky algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. And oh, by the way, if you would be so kind, perhaps share this out on your favorite social media platforms. Folks, we've got all kinds of content coming your way. If you are interested in going even beyond all of that, well, there's a Pro Store, and you can always find those items directly below the video you're watching. The Pro Store, it's a cool place to check out for items that, well, definitely Disney and the rest are not going to sell you, but we're happy to do so. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.